from the vision that I have. What I see is a church that is presently in love with God, but also going to develop such a love for God, such a love for Him until it's just going to become ridiculous. The worship is going to be extremely ridiculous. Another thing, I want to see our church become a kingdom conscious, ministry minded church, to where we don't just do church, but we do kingdom. And what I mean by doing kingdom, doing things that please God. Because you can do church and not make God happy. But if we do kingdom, Matthew 6:33 comes into play. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added. When we please God, we make war with our enemy. But when we make war with our enemy, it makes God happy. So that is where I see the church. Oh God, the vision for it is so vast. I see daycares with an S. I see hotel ownership, where this church will buy its own hotel, and it'll be large enough to host congresses and conventions and conferences. But the real blessed thing is we will employ our own members.
That is a blessing.
We will employ our own members. I see a barbershop. I see a beauty salon. I see a
restaurant.
I see a soul food restaurant. I see a custom tailoring shop. All these things owned and operated by members of the Fellowship Church. So that way we turn our money over not only in our own community, but in our own congregation. I see us owning this entire region where we are right now. Everything. So I'm just waiting on buildings to be condemned and the Lord to give us not only the vision, but the provision for it. Because the Lord sent us here, and I think it's strange that He moved 3 churches out of this area before He let us come in this area. We are the only church in this corridor that is of this name. Worshiping in a friend of mine's worship facility, and he was riding over here to go to a funeral home to do some embalming, and saw this building and called me and told me about it. We tried to contact the people, and after making the initial contact, we never heard back from them for a period of about 2 to 3 months. And in that 2 to 3 month period, we prayed, fasted for a building, and lo and behold, the owner of the building finally called and said, "Hey, we want you to have the building." And it was amazing that the reason we did not hear from the owner at that time is she was fixing up various things in the building so it could be presentable. And when we came in here to look at the building, it was horrible. It was horrible. Animal feces everywhere, evidence of sexual activity, drugs, syringes, crack, everything. I said to the Lord, "Woman of God, I do not want this building." And the Lord said to me, "You take it as it is. I'll give it to you as it is." And He said, "This will be the place of restoration." And the Lord spoke to me and said, "When you get through with this building, you won't recognize it." And as it stands now, when I look at what we have now versus what we had a year and a half ago, it is not even the same building. And every time we change something in here, the atmosphere gets better. You've witnessed it. And the Lord has been so kind to us in that we don't have a lot of income and finance to play with. But every time we need something, the Lord gives us what we need. And when I say give, I mean give. It's amazing how we can come up with a vintage Hammond organ for what the Lord gave it to us for. The sound system in here was given to us by various churches. The pulpit desk was given literally to us. There's a $5,000 piece of marble that is heavily insured and guarded in our entranceway of the church that was given to us.
Mm-hmm.
So, woman of God, I have absolutely no doubt that I was called to preach and sent to this church to birth this church and the people. And those who are here are a different brand of people because they don't want church as usual.
When you opened up the doors of the fellowship,
let's go all the way back to the very first meeting. We had 11 at the very first meeting in my house in the day. Our first Sunday meeting at the church was the second Sunday in October. We had 11 on the road, but 33 joined that day. As it stands, I don't know how many we have. I know it's roughly between 75 and 100 on the road.
mm-hmm.
But on Sundays, we generally see between 50 and 70 on Sundays. So I count what we see as opposed to what we have on the road. So just counting what we see, I would estimate 50 to 70 on Sundays.
Okay.